The wasteland. Captain Sarah Chen never expected to find anything interesting during her routine patrol of Europa's crystalline wastelands. The Jovian moon's surface glittered beneath Jupiter's massive form, casting ethereal shadows across endless fields of ice. Her crawler's tracks crunched through the frozen methane crust as she monitored the automated mining operations that helped keep humanity's outer solar system colonies alive. The emergency beacon's sudden ping nearly made her jump. Its signature wasn't human. The wavelength pattern suggested something entirely alien. Sarah's first instinct was to report it immediately to command, but something made her hesitate. The signal was weak, desperately weak, and fading fast. "Computer, analyze life signs at beacon source," she commanded, already turning the crawler toward the signal's origin. The response was immediate. Single biological entity detected. Severe trauma indicated. Estimated survival time without intervention, 47 minutes. Sarah's jaw tightened. Protocol dictated that all alien contact be handled by specialized first contact teams. But in 47 minutes, those teams would find nothing but a corpse. "Log override of Protocol 7A," she announced. Proceeding to emergency response. The beacon led her to a crash site unlike anything she'd seen before. The vessel, if you could call it that, seemed almost organic, its twisted hull reminiscent of iridescent shells or coral. Scattered pieces glowed with a faint bioluminescence that pulsed like a failing heartbeat. That's when she saw her, a slender figure half buried in Europa's ice, her skin a pale lavender that seemed to shimmer even in death-like stillness. What struck Sarah most wasn't the alien's obvious injuries or her extraordinary appearance, but the simple gold locket clutched in her delicate hand. Something so human-like, so personal, that it broke through any hesitation Sarah might have had. "Hold on," Sarah whispered, carefully lifting the alien into her crawler's medical bay. "I've got you." The alien's eyes flickered open. 3 of them, arranged in a triangle, their irises swirling with colors Sarah had no names for. Fear gave way to confusion, then something like wonder as she gazed at Sarah's human face. "You? Help." The words formed in Sarah's mind rather than her ears, accompanied by a sensation of warmth and desperate hope. "Yes," Sarah replied simply, already activating the crawler's basic medical systems. "I help." What Sarah didn't know, couldn't know, was that she had just rescued Lyra Voceran, sole heir to the crystalline throne of the Voceran Empire. Lyra, who had flawed an arranged marriage that would have handed control of her people to a military junta. Lyra, whose death would have sparked a civil war that would have eventually pulled humanity into its first interstellar conflict. As Sarah worked to stabilize her unexpected patient, she noticed strange markings across the alien's skin, patterns that seemed to shift and change like oil on water. She didn't recognize them as the royal signatures of the Voceran bloodline, nor could she know that by saving this one life, she had just altered the destiny of 2 civilizations. The alien's breathing steadied under Sarah's care, but her skin remained cool to the touch. Sarah increased the medical bay's temperature, remembering her xenobiology training. Never assume an alien shares your optimal conditions. "My name is Sarah," she said slowly, gesturing to herself. "You're safe now." The alien's 3 eyes focused on her with surprising intensity. "Lyra," she projected, the thought accompanied by a complex swirl of emotions. Gratitude, fear, and something else. Urgency. They come. They hunt. Must. Hide. Sarah's hand instinctively moved to her sidearm. "Who's hunting you?" Instead of answering, Lyra's hand shot out, grabbing Sarah's wrist with surprising strength. Images flooded Sarah's mind. Vast crystalline cities floating in space, beings of light and shadow fighting in grand halls, and a crown that seemed made of frozen starlight shattering into 1,000 pieces. "Help me," Lyra projected again, her mental voice growing weaker. "Help, or both our peoples burn." Sarah Chen had started her day expecting nothing more than another routine patrol. Now she found herself holding the life of an alien princess and possibly the peace of two civilizations in her hands. As her crawler sensors detected multiple ships entering Europa's orbit, she knew she had to make a choice. She made it in less than a heartbeat. "Computer," she commanded, "activate stealth protocols and plot a course for the deep canyons. And send an encrypted message to command. First contact scenario initiated. Request immediate diplomatic support." The universe just got a lot more complicated. As the crawler disappeared into Europa's icy depths, Sarah Chen couldn't help but smile. She'd joined the Outer System Patrol looking for adventure. Looks like she'd finally found it. Trust among the stars. The deep canyons of Europa were a maze of ice and shadow, where the boundary between solid and liquid was never certain. Sarah's crawler navigated the treacherous terrain with careful precision, its sensors constantly scanning for pursuit. In the medical bay, Lyra had finally fallen into a fitful sleep, her bioluminescent skin pulsing weakly with each breath. Sarah studied the data streaming across her displays. The ships in orbit weren't broadcasting any identification signals, not Imperial, not Earth Alliance, not anything. Their energy signatures suggested weapons powered and ready. Whoever was hunting the alien princess wasn't interested in diplomatic niceties. "Neural link detected," the computer suddenly announced. "Unknown protocol attempting to interface." Sarah spun toward Lyra, who was now sitting upright, all three eyes fixed on the crawler's communication array. "Wait," Sarah started to say, but it was too late. The crawler's systems flickered, and suddenly Sarah's mind was flooded with information, not just words or images, but entire concepts downloading directly into her consciousness. The Vosaran Empire's history, culture, and current crisis unfolded in her thoughts like a blooming flower. "I apologize for the intrusion." Lyra's thoughts echoed in Sarah's mind, clearer now. "But time grows short, and you need to understand. The Vosaran Empire," Sarah learned, was facing its greatest crisis in 10,000 years. The military council, led by General Vorkath, had gradually accumulated power while the old emperor, Lyra's father, had grown weak. Now they meant to seize complete control through Lyra's forced marriage to Vorkath's son. "But that's not the worst of it," Lyra projected, her mental voice tinged with desperation. "They've discovered your people's existence. They see humanity as a threat, primitive but dangerous. Once they have control of the throne, they plan to launch a preventive strike against Earth and its colonies." Sarah's blood ran cold. Humanity had barely established itself in the solar system, against an advanced empire that could build ships out of living crystal. "How long?" she asked. "The wedding was scheduled for 3 lunar cycles. When I fled, Lyra's thoughts faltered. They'll move faster now. They'll claim I was kidnapped by human agents. Use it as an excuse." A ping from the crawler sensors interrupted them. 3 smaller ships had entered the canyon system, their energy signatures matching the vessels in orbit. The hunters had picked up their trail. "They're using quantum tracers," Lyra explained. "They can follow the unique resonance of my royal bloodline. Nowhere in this system will be safe for long." Sarah's mind raced through options. The crawler was tough, but not built for combat. The nearest Earth Alliance base was hours away, and even if they reached it, how would she convince her superiors that this wasn't some elaborate trap? That's when she noticed something odd about the Neuralink's data stream. "These ship designs," she said slowly, "I can understand them. The weaknesses, the blind spots." She looked at Lyra with sudden realization. "You're not just asking for asylum, are you? You're giving us a fighting chance." Lyra's skin rippled with patterns that Sarah somehow knew meant confirmation. "My father taught me that true power lies in knowing when to share it. Humanity deserves a chance to defend itself. But first," her thought voice grew urgent as the pursuing ships drew closer. "First, we have to survive the next few hours." Sarah allowed herself a grim smile as she began plotting a course through Europa's most dangerous ice fields. "Well, Princess, you're about to learn why humans are particularly good at surviving impossible situations. Computer, divert power to forward shields and prepare for extreme maneuvers. The crawler plunged deeper into the canyons, where liquid methane flows created ever-shifting passages through the ice. Behind them, their pursuers followed with sophisticated quantum trackers and superior technology. But they didn't have what Sarah had: decades of experience navigating Europa's deadly terrain and nothing to lose. They expect us to run, Sarah explained as she guided the crawler into a particularly narrow passage. So instead, we're going to do something completely insane. Lyra's confusion rippled through their neural link. What do you mean? There's an underwater volcano field about 2 kilometers down. The heat creates unstable ice caverns. No one goes there because the risk of collapse is too high. Sarah's grin grew wider. Want to bet those fancy ships of theirs aren't built for cave-ins? For the first time since her rescue, Lyra's mental voice carried a hint of amusement. You're right. Humans are particularly good at surviving impossible situations. You're also particularly good at creating them. As they descended into the darkness, Sarah couldn't help but think that this was exactly the kind of first contact scenario they'd never covered in training. Sometimes, she realized, the best diplomatic solution was knowing exactly when to break all the rules. What neither of them could know was that their desperate gambit would soon become legend in both their civilizations. The day a human patrol officer and an alien princess changed the course of galactic history in the ice caves of Europa. Hidden enemies emerge. The volcanic vents beneath Europa's ice shell filled the crawler's external cameras with a haunting light show. Superheated water shot through cracks in the moon's crust, creating ever-shifting tunnels and caverns in the ice. Sarah guided her vehicle through this treacherous maze, using the thermal currents to mask their signature from the pursuing ships. Your strategy is unconventional, Lyra observed through their neural link, her thoughts tinged with both admiration and concern. Above them, chunks of ice the size of buildings crashed through the water as the heat from the vents destabilized the ceiling. That's a diplomatic way of saying crazy, Sarah replied, narrowing, avoiding a column of superheated water. But those crystal ships of yours aren't built for this kind of environment. Down here, tonnage and firepower mean less than maneuverability and... The crawler's proximity alerts screamed. Sarah yanked the controls hard to port as a lance of energy sliced through the water where they'd been moments before. One of the pursuit vessels had followed them into the depths. Impressive, Lyra admitted. They must have adapted their crystalline matrix to withstand the pressure. That's not supposed to be possible. Sarah's jaw tightened. They'd really want you back, don't they? Instead of responding, Lyra pressed her hand against the crawler's hull, her skin beginning to glow with an intense inner light. Through their neural link, Sarah felt the alien princess accessing the crawler's systems in ways that shouldn't have been possible. What are you? The Vossaren don't just build ships, Lyra explained, her mental voice strained with effort. We sing to the crystals, shape them with our thoughts. Your vessel's systems are primitive by comparison. But perhaps... The crawler's hull began to resonate with a frequency Sarah had never seen before. On her displays, the pursuing ship's sensors seemed to scatter, unable to maintain a lock on their position. I can't maintain this for long, Lyra warned. The effort of interfacing with non-crystalline technology is considerable. Sarah nodded, already plotting their escape route. You don't have to. You've given me an idea. She opened a channel to the Earth Alliance emergency frequency. This is Captain Chen. Authorization code Delta 79. Requesting immediate response from any available units. First contact scenario in progress. I say again, first contact scenario in progress. For several agonizing seconds, there was only static. Then, Captain Chen, this is the EA's Hyperion. We've been tracking unusual activity in your sector. Please verify your situation. Sarah almost laughed with relief. The Hyperion was the Alliance's newest deep space frigate, equipped with experimental stealth systems. Hyperion, I have a Code Omega situation. I am currently protecting a high-value alien diplomatic asset. Request immediate extraction and the water around them suddenly crystallized, trapping the crawler in a lattice of alien minerals. Through the viewport, Sarah saw two more pursuit vessels emerging from the gloom, their weapons charged. Clever, a new voice echoed in both Sarah and Lyra's minds. The mental projection carried centuries of arrogance and cruel amusement, using the volcanic vents to hide. Very human. But did you really think we wouldn't have agents in your Earth alliance? Lyra's fear pulsed through their neural link. Vorkath, she whispered. The general's mental voice continued. Your father is quite concerned about you, princess. He's even agreed to step down immediately, for your safe return, of course. The coronation and wedding can proceed as planned. He would never, Lyra began, but uncertainty colored her thoughts. Your father has seen reason, as all eventually do. Vorkath's satisfaction was palpable. Now, Captain Chen, I suggest you surrender your vessel. I might even let you live. As a curiosity in our menagerie, perhaps, it would be interesting to study how your primitive species has survived this long. Sarah's hands flew across her controls, activating systems that weren't supposed to exist on a simple patrol crawler. Lyra, she said quietly, do you trust me? The alien princess didn't hesitate. Yes. Then hold on tight. Computer, initiate Protocol Prometheus. The crawler's civilian hull began to reconfigure itself, revealing military-grade weapons and defenses that had been carefully hidden. Sarah Chen wasn't just a patrol officer. She was part of an ultra-secret Earth Alliance Black Ops program, designed to prepare for exactly this kind of first contact scenario. I don't know what strings you've pulled in the Alliance, Sarah transmitted to Vorkath, but you've made one serious mistake. She targeted the crystalline lattice holding them with her newly revealed weapons. You assumed humans would play by your rules. The explosion that followed would reshape not only the ice caves of Europa, but the future of human-alien relations forever. A dance of deception. The explosion shattered the crystalline prison and sent shockwaves rippling through Europa's subsurface ocean. Sarah's enhanced crawler shot through the debris field, its military-grade shields deflecting the worst of the crystalline shrapnel. Behind them, Vorkath's ships struggled to reorient themselves in the chaos. Your Black Dawn, Lyra projected, her mental voice a mix of awe and uncertainty. The secret human organization preparing for interstellar warfare. We thought you were just rumors. Sarah's fingers danced across her now expanded weapons console. Officially, we still are. Turns out humans aren't as primitive as your people assumed. We've been watching, learning, preparing. She flashed a grim smile. Those ships that occasionally disappeared near your border worlds. They found us first. We learned from them. The revelation hit Lyra like a physical blow. All this time, your military wasn't wrong about us being a potential threat, Sarah admitted as she guided them through a particularly narrow ice channel. They just didn't realize we were defending ourselves against their incursions. Black Dawn was created to ensure humanity wouldn't be helpless when first contact finally went public. Their neural link suddenly pulsed with warning. Through it, Sarah felt Lyra accessing deeper scans of the pursuing vessels. These energy signatures, Sarah, these aren't regular military ships. They're using forbidden technology, crystal matrices infused with consciousness. Living ships. Worse, ships powered by trapped souls. It's an ancient technology, banned for millennia. The fact that Vorkath has access to it. Lyra's thoughts became tinged with horror. My father would never approve such abominations, which means he's either dead or imprisoned. Sarah finished grimly. Your coup already happened. The wedding was just going to be for show. A massive energy surge from behind cut their conversation short. One of Vorkath's ships had transformed, its crystalline structure flowing like liquid into a more organic predatory form. Through their neural link, both women heard screams, the tortured essences powering the vessel. How dare you? Vorkath's mental voice boomed through their minds, all pretense of civility gone. Centuries of planning, infiltrating your primitive systems, preparing for our ascendance, and you think you can stop us with stolen technology. The transformed ship launched what looked like living lightning at them. Sarah barrel-rolled the crawler, but some of the energy caught their rear quarter. Warning lights flashed across her console. Hull integrity at 64%. The computer announced. Crystalline contamination detected in aft sections. Lyra pressed her hands against the crawler's walls, her skin glowing with increasing intensity. The crystal is trying to corrupt your systems. I can slow it, but not for long. Sarah opened a secure channel. Black Dawn Actual. This is Operative Chen. Authorization code. Prometheus Rising. I am declaring a Broken Arrow scenario. Repeat. Broken Arrow. The Voceran military has been compromised by forbidden technology. Requesting immediate intervention. Static filled the channel for a moment. Then, authentication confirmed. Operative Chen. The EA's Hyperion is already compromised. However, the EA's Avalon and her battle group are on station, cloaked, awaiting your signal. Be advised. First contact protocols are now officially suspended under Directive 17. A savage grin spread across Sarah's face. Understood. Actual. Transmitting coordinates now. She turned to Lyra. Your people aren't the only ones who can spring a trap. Above them, space itself seemed to ripple as 5 Earth Alliance warships dropped their experimental cloaking fields. They had been there the entire time, waiting, watching. Each vessel bristled with weapons reverse-engineered from recovered alien technology. You see, Vorkath, Sarah transmitted, humans have a saying. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We learned from every probe you sent, every ship that disappeared testing our defenses. And we prepared. But Vorkath's laughter filled their minds. Perfect. Your interference provides exactly the pretext we need. When our fleet arrives to find human warships in Imperial space, the war can begin officially, and with the true heir to the throne in our custody, victory is assured. That's when Lyra did something completely unexpected. She began to sing. It wasn't a sound that human ears could truly process, more a resonance that vibrated through reality itself. The crystalline structures of Vorkath's ships began to pulse in response. Through their neural link, Sarah felt the trapped souls stirring, awakening to Lyra's royal command. The Voceran throne isn't about bloodline. Lyra projected, her mental voice thick with power. It's about the song. The true song that binds crystal to consciousness. And you, Vorkath, never understood its harmony. The forbidden ships began to shudder as their trapped souls responded to Lyra's call. But before the princess could complete whatever she was attempting, space erupted with new energy signatures. The Imperial fleet had arrived. Sarah checked her tactical display and felt her heart sink. They were now caught between Vorkath's abominations and a fleet that might or might not be under his control. Within moments, this confrontation would escalate into the very war both she and Lyra had been trying to prevent. Unless... Lyra, Sarah said urgently, your song. Can you project it through our ship's comm systems? The princess's 3 eyes widened with understanding. Yes, yes. But Sarah, linking with that many systems at once, it could kill me. Sarah reached out and took Lyra's hand. Then we do it together. Black Dawn didn't just study your technology. We studied your physiology too. And I've got a few more surprises up my sleeve. As the Imperial fleet moved into attack position, Sarah Chen, human operative and defender of Earth, prepared to help an alien princess sing a song that would change the galaxy forever. The Song of Two Worlds. The void between Europa and Jupiter became a battlefield of light and crystal. The Imperial fleet's arrival had turned the moon's orbit into a deadly dance of warships and energy weapons. But in Sarah's crawler, deep beneath Europa's ice, something unprecedented was taking shape. Integration protocols ready. Sarah announced, her fingers flying across the modified control panel. Black Dawn Actual, requesting neural broadcast channels open on all frequencies. Chen, are you insane? The response crackled through. That much bandwidth could fry every system we have. Trust me. Sarah turned to Lyra, whose skin was now pulsing with patterns she'd never seen before. Ready? The alien princess's three eyes fixed on her, with an intensity that transcended species. My father once told me that true leaders don't just command, they connect. I never understood until now. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Lyra's determination crystallize. Let's rewrite history. Sarah initiated the interface. Experimental Black Dawn technology merged with Voceran crystal harmonics. Human ingenuity met alien majesty, and Lyra began to sing. The song erupted from every communication system in range, human and Voceran alike. It wasn't just sound, it was pure consciousness given voice. Through their shared neural link, Sarah added her own harmony to Lyra's alien melody. Human determination and Voceran grace intertwined in ways neither civilization had imagined possible. In orbit, the crews of both fleets heard it. The trapped souls in Vorkath's forbidden ships resonated with it. The song carried truth that couldn't be denied. Images of Vorkath's treachery, of human resistance, of possibilities for cooperation instead of conquest. No, Vorkath's mental voice raged across all frequencies. I will not be undone by primitive emotions and royal parlor tricks. His flagship's crystal matrix began to pulse with sickly light as he poured more tortured souls into its weapon systems. But he had made a fatal mistake. The song had awakened something in the enslaved consciousness powering his ships. The crystal matrices began to fracture as the trapped souls fought for freedom. The thing about humans, Sarah transmitted to all channels, is that we understand rebellion. We understand fighting against impossible odds, and we understand reaching out to help others do the same. The Imperial fleet hung in space, watching as Vorkath's ships began to tear themselves apart from within. The song had given the trapped souls the strength to break free. Ancient crystal shattered, releasing centuries of imprisoned consciousness into the void. Vorkath's final scream echoed through their minds as his flagship imploded, taking him and his ambitions into oblivion. In the aftermath, silence fell across all channels, but it was a silence full of possibility. Admiral Cavall of the Imperial fleet was the first to break it. Princess Lyra, we received your father's final message. He wanted us to know that the future belongs to those who can adapt, who can see beyond old hatreds and fears. Through their neural link, Sarah felt Lyra's grief at the confirmation of her father's death mix with fierce determination. The princess's response rang across all frequencies. Then let us honor his wisdom. Let us show that humanity and Voceran can do more than destroy each other. We can create something new. Hours later, in the grand crystalline chamber of the Imperial flagship, history was made. Sarah Chen stood beside Princess, now Empress, Lyra as representatives from Earth, and the Voceran Empire signed the first accords of cooperation. Black Dawn would become a joint human-Voceran task force, dedicated to protecting both civilizations from genuine threats rather than perceived ones. You know, Sarah said privately through their neural link, watching human and Voceran diplomats cautiously mingling, when I started my patrol this morning, I didn't expect to help prevent a war and forge an alliance between species. Lyra's amusement rippled through their connection. And I didn't expect to find that humans would be the key to saving both our civilizations. Her three eyes sparkled with something like mischief. Though I must ask, what would you have done if I had actually been the threat your Black Dawn prepared for? Sarah grinned. Oh, I had at least 3 more backup plans. Humans are very good at those. Indeed. Lyra's mental voice grew serious. The road ahead won't be easy. There will be resistance on both sides, fear of change. True, Sarah agreed. But that's the thing about humans, and I'm learning about Voceran too. Our greatest strength isn't in our weapons or our technology. She gestured to the historic scene before them. It's in our ability to imagine something better than war, to reach across the void and find not enemies, but allies, friends. As Jupiter's light played across the crystalline chamber, casting rainbow shadows across two species learning to cooperate, Sarah Chen realized that this wasn't just first contact. It was first understanding, and that, she knew, was worth all the risk in the galaxy. The neural link hummed with shared purpose as human and Vasaran, patrol officer and empress, friend and friend, looked to the future they had forged together. Above them, Europa continued its eternal dance around Jupiter, its ice fields now guarding not just one civilization's secrets, but the promise of two peoples united in pursuit of something greater than conquest, true understanding.